All righty, everyone. Got the thing on mute over there. What's going on? Still multitasking. You guys still multitasking out there? We didn't do no countdown today. We got to get right to it.
What's up, everybody?
What song is that?
Uptown Funk.
You know what I thought that was? Everybody walk. Morris Day. No. Is that? That's probably a little bit of that song.
That's a young guy that can really dance.
That is what that is.
The young guy look like he's a white, Hispanic, have all the black girls in the background. He can dance.
What is it?
What's his name?
That's Morris Day, ain't it?
No, that's the boy who did Super Bowl Beyonce. She had him on there.
Oh, you talking about what's his name? But that's where it came from.
Yeah,
Morris Day.
Yeah.
It's not. Everybody always think that these new artists, they the one wrote the song. You talking about Marco Polo?
They do mix up. We know who you're talking about.
Bruno Mars.
I'm gonna excuse myself for a moment.
Okay.
You keep talking.
But I'm thinking of this Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars and do that. That's what I was like. Everybody walk. That's what that is. And hey, guys, what's going on? How was your weekend? Full's coming on back. Oh, Full's going to turn on the air. He's having hot flashes, so it's time for him to turn on the air a little bit. And look, and I got on a jacket. Go figure.
It's 84 in here.
So what's been going on this weekend, you guys? It is May. Woo! But that's exactly what that song is. Everybody wrong. I never really thought about it until now. So great evening. Hey.
Good evening.
Look,
what a beautiful day. Last couple of days has been gorgeous.
Look, I'm gonna have to do a quick little shout out to Miss Norma. Miss Norma been getting over. She went just a beautiful spirit. Miss Norma is, yes, she is.
Ever since I've known her, she's been like that.
She's been like that ever since I've known her too. She's been kind and nice, and she's loved on my mom. She went and had lunch with my mom today. But I be trying to tell her, Mama,
we'll make her spend some money.
She don't want to hear that.
You better hear it.
Mama gonna make her spend some money.
But Norma got it like that though.
No, she rich.
She married the rich.
Rick.
Mm-hmm. The governor.
Look, Miss Norma come talking about. Mama said she got some things she gave to me to give to you, darling. Miss Norma, you felt it. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna leave you alone. Hey, what's going on?
Well, shout out of love and kindness always in season. Thank you, Miss Norma.
What you mean, Glenn Hughes School seniors announced their college choices on May 1st? Yeah. Westlake, I got on Westlake today. Westlake High School, they announced their college choices. Also yesterday they did theirs. So baby, we got a lot.
I have a vivid Deion Sanders.
He does.
Because the Falcons had a good draft, some good trades on the year, man. I'm excited about the season. I'm ready for football. I'm ready. And Georgia, by the way, signed the #1 recruit to play for Georgia next year. Quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, #1.
Okay.
The #1 quarterback in the nation.
To play for Georgia.
Play for Georgia.
Not the Falcons.
For Georgia.
Okay.
I'm talking about two things. I'm talking about Falcons and Deion first.
Falcons.
Bennett's jersey.
Yeah. So, baby, can you turn the music down a little bit? Because I know the people that are seniors on this Zoom on this podcast /Facebook /StreamYard /YouTube. Welcome, everyone. I know they're probably thinking, hey, music is so loud. Can y'all turn that down?
Seniors got more going on than y'all.
No, but I'm saying, I'll be listening to it sometime like, what y'all say? You turn the music down.
That's why I play the instrumental.
Yes.
I ain't trying to figure out what they're saying.
So you guys, we had, as always, I am even going to all
last 5 weeks.
Last 5 weeks. But I'm hopefully settled now. My niece, Farrah, graduated with a second law degree from Texas A&M University. I told Fuller, so we're going to get into our topic today. The topic today is called There's a Thing Called Love. You see my little hearts, baby, my little kiss, and my little thing on the banner right there. That's right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's love. It's a thing called love. It's a thing called love. So, but my niece graduated, and at first, this love thing goes beyond. We're not talking about marriage. We're just talking about love in general. So my niece, some of you guys know, husband passed away age 37, and so I am auntie mama,
Yep.
and so Fuller. Hey Ryan, hey RJ, Renee, Teresa, Ryan, what's going on? So Fuller and I, when Farrah first asked me about, she said, "Aunt Darling, you gonna come home for my graduation?" I said, "Well, baby, I just came home for Austin, little Austin,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, his birthday, and Travis, the baby, who's
Dedication.
4 months, baby christening, dedication." So I said, "Which one do you want me to do? You want me to do that weekend, or do you want me to come to your graduation?" So I kind of gave her this ultimatum. She's like, "Well, go ahead and come to the boys thing." And so I thought about it, and I said, "You know what, Fuller? I know we got to go to Baltimore next, because it was like Texas, Baltimore. Even don't talk about the weeks before, just Texas, Baltimore, then back to Texas." And so I just said, "Fuller, do you mind?" I said, "You don't have to go. I'm not going to take my mom. You mind if I, take a trip one day?" I went Saturday, early morning, came back Sunday on a 8 a.m. flight. My flight was at 5 in the morning. So I went from the flight, then back to church, because we were already on Old National. So I asked Fuller, did he mind if I went? Not that he was going to say no or anything, but y'all, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, but what Farrah been able to accomplish at all that she faced with 2 kids, I'm 3 years old, and I'm just lost a husband a few months ago.
Yeah.
And be able to concentrate and study, and with the 2 kids bouncing around after boys, they ain't girls, they boys, they different species. And I am just so proud of her to be able to accomplish that.
Look,
and then she already had a law degree, so she had it in cybersecurity. You didn't mention that.
Yeah, and so, but her first law degree was I don't know, she was a criminal attorney, and then she changed, and so, but now she got a specialty in cybersecurity, and I was so surprised. One, I think that I minimize, sometimes when we don't communicate clearly, we minimize what's going on in our family, our friends, and things like that. And so I'm going to do a quick shout out. Chris Page, you know what? It's good to see you.
Oh, Chris,
see you
okay.
in a little bit.
What's up, man?
What's up?
My brother.
And then Darcy's on. We got so many stories about different. What's up, Lady D? Why? And so, I was minimizing what she was accomplishing, because I was thinking she's already got a law degree. She must be getting a certificate or something. So, okay, I'm gonna go. So I get there, and here all these people come in this Texas A&M robes, and they got on the doctorate hats, and I was like, what's happening right now? And as I was watching, and I looked at the program, it had all these doctoral jurisdiction degrees, people that were working on their law/jurisdiction. I don't know how all this stuff worked. And then they had a group for all these different specialty areas, but this was just specifically for masters and on up. And they have, as I understand, the law program is in Fort Worth. I think I was in College Station in Houston, basically. And so, but I was so glad that as a friend, as her surrogate mom, that I could show up and be there for her. Now, look, you guys, ain't nobody bragging on me going. I'm just showing you two things. One, how Fuller was so very supportive of me going. And I know somebody's probably saying, why wouldn't he be supportive? One, because sometimes in relationships, there's a money issue, there's a time issue. And then I've been in cases in the past dating people or whatever, and they may have said, what you doing that for? You've been gone, XYZ so many different times. And so what about me? What about me? What about me? Fuller not one time said, what about me? He immediately said, oh yeah, babe, you should, of course you should go. But the other part is that I was so glad that my tiredness and going back and forth, I didn't use that excuse, because baby, I promise you, I'd have been so upset at myself after I saw the video.
Right.
Like Ashley, her cousin, filmed it. And as she was walking across stage, of course, everybody was screaming. I was just so proud. I was like, Jackie, my sister, Farrah's mom, who's deceased now, I said she would have been so proud. They are both serial professional going to college people. They are. The most, and I am too, because I'm probably gonna go back and get a doctorate at some point. But they're serial college, wanting to always achieve and be more and be greater, right? And so I was glad to be there.
Well, let me
Thank
say
you.
this: family is everything, and sometimes you don't get a redo. Your family and friends, all you got with you at the end of the day, when all the dust is cleared, dust is settled, and the smoke is cleared, all you got is your family and friends. Yeah.
And so that was one thing that happened this weekend. And then, Fuller and I was just chatting today. We got a chance to, I feel like, as I was talking to Fuller earlier today, he was right here. He's right here. He came to the office. He doesn't work on Mondays. And so he came to the office and he said, Darlene, do you feel like going to have breakfast? And I was like, baby, you do know I work every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so, but because he's off, he's thinking that I'm off or that I'm working from home. How many of you guys work from home and your spouse think you don't really work?
I didn't think you was off.
No.
I know you was working.
No. I just said, this is the conversation. Hey, lovely studio audience, favorite watchers. How many of you sometimes think your spouse is not working and they're just home? So Fuller says, would you be free to go to breakfast? And just all of a sudden, people start canceling meetings at work. So we went to breakfast. And we were sitting there and I said, you know what, babe, this is how it came up to be this topic today. There's a thing called love. Because there's so many areas of love that we see on a day-to-day basis if you allow yourself to be in love. Be in love with being with the person that you're with. Being in love with yourself. So Phil and I were sitting there and I was telling him that I'm so glad that he asked me to go to breakfast because it was almost like we were on a date. Well, it was. We were on a date. And I said, thank you for inviting me on this date and, allowing me to spend some time with you today. And I said, because if you hadn't asked me to come to breakfast, what I've learned just about Darlene is I get so busy about success, going, work, Legal Shield, kids, that one of the things that I was reading this weekend, I'm going to share it with you guys in a second, is I was learning about today. Because tomorrow is never promised, right? And so Full was telling me what time it is. It's 6:13, you guys, p.m., 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So
you got to leave on time today.
I got to leave on time today. I don't have rehearsal.
You spent a long time telling your story.
So I got some stories.
So
anyway, I was sitting there and I was telling him that, I'm appreciative of the moments that we can just rest and enjoy today. Because oftentimes we spend a lot of times worrying about tomorrow, worried about what people think, worried about people say. Am I too fat? I'm too skinny. What am I going to wear to Lemon Bliss? What am I going to wear to work? What am I going to wear to church? And all of those things, and it really don't even matter. And so when Fuller and I was sitting there, I said, thank you, Fuller, thank you, babe, for just giving me the space to be, and I just said, fill in the blank. And so Yvonne Holmes says, yes, and this is so true. This is just to cherish every moment you just spend with each other because tomorrow it isn't promised. I'm so busy trying to build the future that I don't know when this future with us could happen any day, it could end. And so I just said, thank you for asking me to go to breakfast because I really don't take lightly. I don't try to not recognize that this relationship is valuable. It's just that sometimes we get in here. We always think we gotta go. And Fuller gonna talk about it because he be talking about me all the time to my face. But he's
enjoy the moment. I mean, life. My dad always said, "Life is but a vapor." Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand at that time, but now I've gotten a little older. I understand. It happens so quick. You have kids that was yesterday was 4 and 5 years old, and now they graduated college. It just seemed like yesterday that they were that small. Yeah. So enjoy the moment, sit back and relax. And I try to get Darlene to take time to smell the coffee, they say, because life is so valuable. You want to enjoy every moment. Planning for the next event and you're not even focused on what you're doing and enjoying that particular time or that particular moment.
Yeah.
I text one of my classmates, text me today. We was in the same graduating high school class, and he was saying that we were going to have a class reunion, and for as he know, it is 15 of us left. Now, my class, I graduated from an all-black high school, Griffin, Georgia, Fairmount High School. We the first class that graduated 100. And he says only 15 of us left. 15 died last year, went on to be with the Lord last year. So, man, I'm one of the 15. And like Yvonne was saying,
Life
you know, you can't take it for granted. So you need to enjoy that moment. And the little small things that kind of bug, irritate you, that you get upset or get mad with your spouse about it, it's not worth it in the long life and the short, long life, shall I say. It's not worth it. Yeah. So, you know, I just choose to love and look over that, because the Bible said, and not just the Bible said, it's easy when you are in love, you can look over. See, when you start loving one another, you start finding faults. Mm. But when you are in love, you don't see those things, because, you know, she could have one eye in the middle of her head. But I just love her. I just love her. You know, I just love him. I just love him. Yeah. You know, but it doesn't matter what they're going through, because you are patient, you're long suffering, and you look at things from a different point of view, and always from the lovely point of view. And so that's what you want to do, you know. So enjoy the moment, enjoy the time that you have together. Yeah. Because, you know, look, we've been knowing each other since 2020, and look, it's 25 already.
But Fuller said that today, which I hadn't thought about it since COVID, but COVID, 3-4 years gone, I don't even remember some of that. And so same thing with our kids. You know, it's amazing that Austin and Paige would be 19 and 20.
Right.
And I'm looking on Facebook now at the kids that are now graduating from high school, getting ready to go to college. I'm like, what? Skylar is how old? I mean, in a tux, got a mustache. So Chrislyn says, Rob and I just said the same thing, to put our phones down and enjoy each moment with each other. I tell Fuller that. He says about me too. Sometimes he says that, will you be on the phone? And then I'll say, babe, them reels sucking you in. All of it. Don't talk about it.
No, I'm gonna give a correction here. Darlene stays get on the phone. She'd be on the phone. So I'll be doing something else. So she on her phone, I get on my phone. But but when she finished with hers, now she finished. And she said she ready to go to bed. Now come on to bed with me. Now I'm just not starting looking real good.
That is not. None of this is true.
Okay, right.
Don't believe that. So
there's two versions of this. Right. The truth, which I'm telling, and she's fairy tailing.
So, but it's true, Chrislyn. Our phones are such a distraction. You know what? I don't know about you guys. We've talked about this before. Right. I don't remember a single phone number in my phone, except I know yours. Yeah. I know maybe
yours.
One.
I know yours and Matt.
Yeah, I know one phone number. Right. And that's a shame. And that's because we're so busy on. And then Chris Page says, I'm so glad to see you and Heather on here. But Heather Page and I celebrate 30 years this month. Congratulations.
Wow.
And he says, one thing I love is to hear Heather's voice. Oh, Chris, that is so sweet. Yeah. And he loves to hear Heather's voice. And then I got to switch kind of gears a little bit, because, you know, as I was thinking about the things that sometimes in life, you know, we get distracted by, that prevent us from spending the time listening to our spouse, listening to our children. But, you know, I was in the airport this past weekend in Atlanta, and I have no idea what made me stop by the bookstore, other than I saw this nice sweatshirt that I decided to pick up from the airport. And I went to the book stand, and I really like to listen to a lot of my books because I got so many books on Audible. But this particular time, I saw this book, and it was a green book. I recognized the author's name because I remember her from before, and I just picked up this book. And I'm not going to advertise it, but I'm just going to tell you the title of it. It's called "Let Them" Theory. Mm-hmm. And it was just talking about letting people, even though, sometimes we get so consumed with, what our kids think or what they're doing, or they didn't do this and I wanted them to do XYZ, or my spouse bothers me when they do this, or they don't do enough or whatever. And so she said, just stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Free yourself from all the anxiety, the things that don't allow you to live in the present, because tomorrow's what we're talking about. Tomorrow's a vapor and it disappears right before your eyes. And she's like, if somebody doesn't invite you to their birthday gathering, if they don't invite you to the girls' night out, and you see all your friends in the background, you're like, well, wait a minute, why they get invited and I didn't? And then she realized, she said, that's because I hadn't been present as a friend. And so maybe they overlooked me because I hadn't been a friend to them. And so, but she was just talking about let them theory. And so she was talking about her family and all the things that, we do that consume our mind and prevent us from loving the way we need to love. So may I?
Go ahead.
So the book is called Let Them. And so it's like, let them talk about you. Let them ignore you. And so just one of the passages in this book, this is kind of funny. She was talking about the let them theory, and she says, and I'm just going, okay, a couple. My oldest daughter, Sawyer, who I wrote this book with, is a complete control freak. And when things aren't just right, she gets overbearing and too intense. She goes into an OCD cleaning spiral that just stresses everyone else out. But still I love her.
Right.
Then she says, when my husband wakes up, he usually lets out a huge fart. My first thought is, you are disgusting. I love Chris more than any human being on the planet, but I have bad thoughts and negative opinions about him all the time. Same thing with my dog. At 5 p.m., my dog, Homie, is so annoying because he knows it's dinner time. He follows me around. He pants like crazy. He jumps up on me. And you know what I think? He is a giant pain in the rear end and he needs to chill. But I still love him. She says, every time our middle daughter, Kendall, FaceTimes me from Los Angeles, it feels like she is wearing a new outfit. Sounds like me and Paige. I think she is irresponsible with her money. And the last thing she needs is more clothes. But I still love her. Then she says, and our son, his name is Oakley, and I'm going to put Austin in this place. She says, Oakley is literally perfect. Just kidding. But for the first hour he is awake, he refuses to make eye contact and speak to people. I think he is rude, but I still love him. By the way, I asked my children to describe some adjectives that they think about me. They said, you're messy, you're disorganized, you're loud, you're overly friendly, all over the place, controlling, always late, know-it-all, and they have a lot of opinions about how much I share online about our lives. And yet, they still love me. So the gist of this book is, she says, why am I telling you this? She says, because everybody has crucial opinions about people they love, as well as total strangers. It is a fact of life, but embrace it and accept it. Instead of trying to change reality, start using it to your advantage. Let them. Let them think what they want. Let your spouse behave the way they are behaving. You can still have conversations about what bothers you, but you can't change people.
You can't be an abundance of people,
yeah.
Opinion.
Yeah, but this book was so good because it for me, it allowed me to free people free you from the things that irritate me. But
irritate you?
No, not
I'm
at all.
Surprised.
But all those things that we start having in our minds. Full and I were talking about last week. The things that what was it? What was our title? It was about us going on our trip in Fuller.
And I didn't attend the meeting.
Didn't attend, and I got upset, and I was upset for the whole weekend. But instead of me worrying about what he didn't do, what about all the things he has done and did do? And we spend a lot of time talking about, what our spouses, who they are, our friends, who they are, and that we don't ever look here. But the other part of this, about this let me theory, she said, is we can concentrate on saying, you know what, I'm gonna let my kids do this. I'm just gonna let them do it. I'm telling them to get a job. They don't do it the way I want them to do it. Just let them. They'll learn from experience, right? And then she said, but if you just let stuff go, you'll also find yourself getting upset and depressed because you just let stuff go and you're irritated But she said there's a twofold streak in that. It's let them and let me.
Yeah.
I let you be who you are, but I let me do something about it. What am I going to do on my end? I'm not going to be critical. I have to pray for you.
Then your opinion might not be right, or what you observe, or what you think about.
Because it's an opinion.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that, I mean, Fuller said, as we were talking about all of this at breakfast this morning, there's a lot to talk about, you guys. Yeah. If you just talk.
And you didn't mention, like a lot of times we talk about and we can really recall everything a person does bad or does wrong. But I entertained Darlene Mom a whole weekend. But see, remember the negative thing, but you don't remember the positive thing. Because she was easy to say what I didn't do in Washington, but you forgot about that. So how you do that? So that's your mama. That's supposed to be precious to you.
You know what? Think about that, you guys.
See, I'm just
but that was profound.
But see, that's the things that we overlook a lot of things. Love don't let you see the negative thing and deal with the negative thing, or it don't highlight. But what you do, lovely things, what you do every day that is good, people always notice. And it's always the 99% of people, what they do good. Socrates say, the evil that men do live after them, but the good is interred with their bones.
You guys, that was good, baby.
Yeah. The evil that men do live after them, but the good is interred with their bones. They don't remember it no more because they dead.
Look, do you guys hear what Fuller just said to me right in my face? I spent last week, in the show last week, we was all in. I was telling you guys about all the things I was upset about because he didn't come to none of my meetings for Legal Shield. He didn't do XYZ. And then this weekend, he did something excellent. While I went to go see Farrah, I asked Fuller, because my mom normally comes and she stays on Friday and Saturday. And then sometimes she stays on Sunday. But I said, Fuller, do you mind if mom stays overnight still? I'm going to be gone to Texas. And then, by the time I come back, which is Sunday, I'll be back. He said, no problem. He entertained my mom. We were both here Friday. She stayed overnight. I was gone Saturday morning. She stayed Saturday night into Sunday night. He didn't complain one time. He stayed with her the whole time. He didn't have to stay. He could have gone and done some other things, but he stayed the entire time. I never once said thank you.
Oh, it's no problem.
He wasn't asking for me to say thank you.
But I know your heart. I know your heart. So,
but the example that you gave, that was profound, though.
Yeah.
Because the things that we concentrate on all the negative.
Right.
And then when the positive shows up, we ignore it like it didn't even happen. Right. So, baby, thank you for that.
Oh, no, you don't have to thank me for that. I enjoyed it. It was my good pleasure.
No.
That's what
thank
love
you for
do.
saying that.
Oh, okay.
On the live, because I not only needed to hear that, because we do concentrate that. That whole segment last week was about, and by the way, if you didn't see it, you need to go back and watch it. But that whole segment was about what Fuller didn't do. And then he turned around and did something even greater, not to make up for it, but he did something profound. And I didn't make this show about what he did for me. This thing called love. I was concentrating on all the things that Darlene.
It's a thing called love. That's what love do.
Chrysalin spills the beans, even though I wasn't going to try to give Mel Robbins any credit for her book. I was still all her dog. But this is the book. And I tell you, I read at least a third of the book in Fort Worth, and I was only gone for a day, 24 hours. And so, but it is a profound book. Everybody should read it, not because we're trying to sell books for Mel, because I don't know her, but all I know is I've read 2 books, and so, but it's just profound. So, baby, what you want to say to wrap up? Because you're showing me the time.
No, I just want to, just say, oh, by the way, I remember Chrysalin and Rob didn't have no kids. How old are your kids now? Look how old they are. I saw them on Facebook, and I'm saying, how did they get that big so fast? Because I know Crystal used to work with me, work for me. And Rod used to come around about a year, 2 years, and I discipled him. Yeah. And they didn't have no kids. They would just start dating. Matter of fact, at the time, they wasn't even dating. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, they married, man, kids that's grown up, man. Take time. Just take time to take a deep breath and just enjoy each other and enjoy life. And I'm telling you again, the reason Christians get divorced a lot of the times is because she take this and put in this bucket, the children bucket. He takes and put in the children bucket, and they both put in the children bucket. And all of a sudden, the children 18, 19, 20, and they gone to school or working and or out of the house. And you look at each other and don't know each other because you didn't take time to know each other. You didn't spend no time together. You made no investment with each other. And because you didn't make no investment in each other, you're going to find 9, 10, 20, 30, 40 things that are wrong that you don't like about that person. But you never got to know that person because you didn't make the initial investment. Yeah. So invest in your relationship and you'll reap dividends. We always talk about the seed. The harvest was greater than the seed. So that goes for communication, go for sowing love seed, do good seeds in each other's life. We take time to do good seeds in our friends' life and our siblings' life and different ones. But what about each other? Yeah. And make that investment. And I tell you, you'll reap a harvest from it.
Yeah, I think that was so good. I'm so thankful that I got fuller because we said already, tomorrow's not promised. And if you're single, just, treat your friends and cherish the moments, cherish your family, do the things that I know that we sometimes think that, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to, go to lunch, or I don't have the time to, call the person. I reached out to somebody I ain't talked to probably in 20 years. And I just said, I had you on my mind and I just thought I'd text you. And so Valerie says, just to close us out tonight, because I know we're getting at the time, says 50 million people can say you're beautiful. And if one person say you're ugly, some people, it will ruin their whole day.
That's right.
Negative moment.
Valerie, that was great. That is true. It's like when I preach, if I preach, 100 people can tell me I did great. But if Darlene don't say it, it don't mean nothing.
That was good.
That's it.
That was
that's
good.
It. That's right.
And that's why that whole concept about let them cherish the moment, cherish the memories, take time to enjoy the view, take time to breathe, take time to walk outside. Me and Fuller walk outside now. Sorry, you guys, we're going about 5 minutes over. So Fuller and I walked outside the other day and we just looked around. Look, if Fuller hadn't come along in my life or I hadn't come along in his life, man, where would we be?
Right. I wouldn't be here.
I was looking, we were just standing outside and just looking at how beautiful and how quiet it is. Now, kids are older now. Look, Paige real got grown. Paige don't even come home on the weekend no more. That's good. Because
you come home every weekend. Every weekend.
She's not coming home at all. So Darlene would have been home by herself I found something to do. But what I've been happy, what I've been pleased, and what I've been, doing, loving. Yeah. Chrislyn says, and by the way, congratulations this year. Chrislyn says that this is 11 years married this year.
What? Man, where did time go? Wow.
11
oh
years.
My God.
Wow. And then hence, and then look at here go, Yvonne Holmes says, yes, Bishop, hence have been investing for 50, Horace and I have been investing for 52 years.
Salute. Solution.
My goodness. Man. So you guys, look, thank you for tuning in today. I'm trying to, market anything for anybody. Just love the one you with.
That's right.
There's a thing called love.
Yeah, love the one you with.
And love the one you with. I've been watching Kristen and her husband, and sometimes they've been talking about the things that they got wrong and things that, we just like, let it go. It ain't that serious, right. You guys. Go over there and tell your husband, say your wife. Right. Say, baby, I love you. Like, what you talking about? What you talking about? I just love you. Yeah. I love you, baby.
I love you too, baby. Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm so glad we have this time together. Next week.
Thank y'all for tuning in, and we're gonna have some special guests soon. So love you guys. Thank you.
One more.
Okay.
Child say we're just celebrating 40 years.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations.
And Lady DUI says 52 years. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then Jeffrey Glover says it's a human habit to highlight faults in others instead of magnifying the good. Love never expires.
Yeah, never fails.
Love never fails.
Never disappoints.
Love never disappoints. Yeah. Look, you guys have an amazing night.
Love and kindness is always in season. Don't forget about it.
And then Von talking about y'all get a room. Yeah. We are going to it. Talk to y'all later. See you.